the beginning of the Spyro series on the PS1, it's been a tradition that each of these PS1 Spyro games has a playable demo for a Crash Bandicoot game. On the front title screen of Spyro Year of the Dragon, press and hold down R2 followed by the L1 button and the square button, and you'll get to a free playable demo of Crash Bash. Would you like a full game to go with that demo? That's what this demo offers. This isn't actually a demo, it's a full game. The full, complete, playable Crash Bash is hidden in Spyro Year of the Dragon. Once you get to this screen, press left, right, left, right, right, left, right, 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 left, right, 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 left, right, 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 and you'll be able to play the full entire game of Crash Bash. Once you enter that code, you'll hear a sound that'll say, "Oh, gonna let you begin to play the game." And once it lets you play the game, select how many players you want, and then it'll make you go to one of the bonus, to one of the levels here first, one of those. The main levels, the levels that are officially part of the demo. And once you get into one of those, you can just pause the game, go to the cheat menu, and it will let you play any level of this game whenever you want, wherever you want. You don't have to unlock any levels or unlock anything at all. Just play whatever level you want, whenever you want. It's as simple as that. Every level in this entire game is available to play right here, right now, right in front of us. This video is also going to serve as my Let's Play of Crash Bash, because Crash Bash, this is all you really need to do to Let's Play Crash Bash. It's not that great of a game. It's simply just a Crash Bandicoot party game with tons of quickly thrown together, quickly hashed together mini games featuring the Crash Bandicoot characters. And they just thought whoever thought of this game, the executives just thought, let's just do that, make a quick buck off and profit off Crash Bandicoot's name once again, and that's it. This game isn't really that great overall. You can see why Naughty Dog wanted nothing to do with it, because it just isn't that great. It's just a bunch of crappy mini-games. Well, some of them are okay, some of the mini-games are decent, some of them don't play very well, and some of them are very buggy as hell. And I don't know, that's because this is a beta version or a demo thing. I just recently played the full Crash Bash. I played it again and reconnected the game again, and it's actually it's a pretty flawed game, actually. What we have here in Spyro Year of the Dragon, this is the best way to play Crash Bash. This is better than playing the real game. If you have a copy of Spyro, I don't recommend buying a copy of Crash Bash. You're just better off just sticking with what you had in Spyro. I didn't even know about this when I first bought Spyro back in the day. If I knew that, I wouldn't have bought this game years later. I only bought it because it's a Crash Bandicoot game on the PS1. Those are known to be the best Crash Bandicoot games ever and some of the best video games ever made. How could this possibly be bad? Well, yeah, it's just not that good. And I really underestimate how bad a Crash Bandicoot game could truly be. And this one, it's not a garbage game for any stretch of the imagination, but it's definitely not great. This game is very wonky and it's very buggy. Even the full game is very wonky and buggy. And sure, it has a lot of stuff in it, but a lot of mini games and stuff. But a quantity doesn't make up for a lack of quality. This game is a jack of all trades, but it's a master of none. This game attempts to give you some Crash Bandicoot bosses, and the bosses are Homer and Bart Simpson. The Simpsons came over to do a cameo in this game. You can only find this in the Spyro demo, or this also works in the demo on the PlayStation Underground Jam Pack sampler discs too. And and Homer and Bart Simpson are the bosses. They're shown as being the bosses for this. They make a cameo and it appears only in this version and not in the full game. I wonder what would have happened if 20th Century Fox or whoever owned Simpsons found out about this. Would they have sued the people that made Crash Bash for this? But of course, no one really knew about this back in the day, and Crash Bash probably wouldn't have made greatest hits if people knew about this back in the day either. And the Komodo brother guys get stuck on that wall. He's just gonna stay there for all eternity. Just jerking around, doesn't really know where to go. And you're gonna be stuck at the screen. The only way you could possibly get out of this is you pause the game, go back to the cheat menu, and select what level you want to play next. The game's just as simple as that. This is still a lot better now than the actual full game that we got. And these levels are all pretty much the levels that are in the full game, but they're They're probably equally as flawed, actually equally as broken. There might be some other flaws too. I never really got through the full game of Crash Bash, because quite frankly, it's just not worth your time and effort to get through all of it. It feels like a pretty, rushed. It feels somewhat rushed as well too. And Crash Bandicoot started to lack originality at this point too. And so they thought, oh, we need some more mini games. What can we possibly do? I know, let's rip off Pong the Next Level. That sounds like a perfect game to rip off. Remember Pong the Next Level? Yeah, that game came out like a year or so earlier for the PlayStation. It was an awesome Pong remake where you could go to all sorts of cool venues of Pong, and it was all based around Pong. It wasn't really, it did have some variety stuff in it, but it wasn't a jack of all trades, master of none like Action 52. Pong the Next Level knew what it wanted to be. It was a Pong game, and it had a bunch of new, innovative ways to play Pong, pretty much. And this game kind of tried doing stuff like that. This is very similar to stuff we'd see in Pong the Next Level, but it's Crash Bandicoot. They thought, oh, Crash Bandicoot, Pong the Next Level. How awesome is this gonna be? Well, yeah, it's not as great as people think. They also stole a lot of the venues, too. This is clearly one of the venues from Crash Bandicoot, where you worked one of those Sky Squadron thing levels that we had to go through and shoot down those stuff. Remember how fun that was? Why couldn't they have given us more stuff like that? Why couldn't they have given us like an actual 3D platformer again? Sure, it may have ripped off stuff from Crash 3 or so, but who cares? That game was really good. They could have just melted more of that, or just made a simple expansion of Crash Reba instead. Or even make an expansion of Crash Team Racing maybe, but instead, they gave us this hot mess. Yeah, heck, even a PlayStation Magazine article even admitted that this game isn't very original. It's clearly a rip-off of something else. Oh gee, I wonder what that could have possibly been a rip-off of. Well, it's obviously Mario Party, right? Mario Party games were coming out this time too. They were selling like hotcakes. They were some of the most popular games on the N64, so they figured, why don't we have our own version? Why don't we use our favorite mascot and just give him his own game, like what they're doing for Mario? It was a pretty good idea, and there's no board game aspect in this either. It's just simply all mini games. So it cuts to the chase and gives any of that board game crap stuff. And giving it the benefit of the doubt too, I never played this game in multiplayer before. I'm sure if you actually did have multiplayer, especially had up to 4 players, which this game officially supports, it probably would have been a much better experience then. Just like Mario Party. Mario Party games are more fun when you play with other people. And this game probably would have been more fun too if you had other players playing, but I'm not even sure if this version supports up to 4 players. It says it does, but no one really knows if it really does. I'm sure someone probably does, but I don't have 4 other people to play, or 3 other people, or 4 people in total to play with, unless I make clones of myself or something like that. But none of my friends seem to care about Crash Bandicoot. I tried showing Crash Bandicoot 2 to a friend recently, and he didn't like it that much. He might like Crash 3 a bit more. I haven't seen that one yet, but he doesn't seem to think Crash Bandicoot's as good as people think it was. If this game was his first experience of Crash Bandicoot, I guess that would make sense why I wouldn't like it that much. And I used to say talking about this game a lot too, so that's one point, when people used to accuse me of making up the shows I watch on TV that no one's ever heard of before, and they were real shows, I would say I made up those shows as much as Naughty Dog made Crash Bash, because Naughty Dog did get misattributed to being the developer of this game in one of the magazine ads for this game. But this game wasn't made by Naughty Dog. They had nothing to do with this hot mess of a game. It was all by Eurocom. Now, Eurocom wasn't that bad of a company. They just didn't really know what to do with this. It may not have even been their idea either. It's probably some executive came up with this idea and thought, hey, let's just get the folks at Eurocom to go make us a game. With this idea, we had this Action 52-like idea. It's a bunch of games in one. How could this possibly fail? And there was even a Jumping Flash game that was similar to this too, where it's just a collection of mini games, a bunch of shoddy, like Atari 2600 like mini games, and they're not really that great. And it was like a spin-off game, just wanted to make some like collection of games, like party games or something like that, and just slap something on. But I'll just slap. In the case of this, let's just go slap Crash Bandicoot on this, and it's gonna be a guaranteed hit. And it made greatest hits. This is out of all the games on the PS1 that ever made greatest hits, this was probably the least worthy of all the greatest hits games there were. It only sold well because it's Crash Bandicoot. It just goes to show, it's further proof that greatest hits isn't really an indicator if a game is actually good or not. All greatest hits is just telling you it sold well. That means jack all. And this level is horribly broken too. There's this monster there. There's a dodge, and I think Tiny always wins. I'm not even sure what's going on. I think it's supposed to be some kind of race, like obstacle course race. It's only one lap. And then when the lap is over, which you're pretty much never going to win because of how broken and god-awful the controls are, Tiny's guaranteed to always win all the time, and it only goes like 30 seconds. You have such a long time limit, and yet, before only like 5 seconds it's over. I'm pretty sure this level is, broken. This is the broken racing thing. Kirby Air Ride tried doing something like this years later, and they were actually successful with that. Only this did it, and it kind of broke. See, this is what happens when you make a game that has tons of what do you call it? It's like a bunch of like mini games into one game. They focus too much on quantity and not really quality. You get a broken disaster. That's what a lot of these levels are. They're broken disasters. They should have just took one thing and stuck with it and made the whole game based around that. Possibly a Crash Bandicoot puzzle game, maybe. Or maybe just took like 1 or 2 of the mini games that you kind of do in this game. Just make a whole game. Like if they made just Pong the Next Level again. The whole game was like Pong the Next Level. That would have been pretty fun. And then just made different variants of the game and stuff and have it be themed around Crash Bandicoot. And occasionally put the kinds of like bonus stuff that we expect from Crash Bandicoot. Like when he rides on a polar bear or something like that and tries to run through those narrow corridors and trying to escape that polar bear, or the Indiana Jones boulder stuff like that. They could have made a whole Pong-like game and put stuff like that in it too, but they just did this instead, just threw it all together. I mean, Crash Team Racing came out a year before this, and that was a spin-off game. But Crash Team Racing wasn't really a variety game either. It was a downright kart racing game. They knew what they were going to do. They knew exactly what they wanted to do, and it worked like a charm. Why I think Crash Team Racing is a critically acclaimed, cherished racing game that everyone loves. Sure, that real-life friend that doesn't like Crash Bandicoot that much didn't seem to like it that much, but most people said that Crash Team Racing is an awesome game, and I'd agree. It's objectively better than Speed Punk's, a game that it probably closely competed with at the time. And it's better than a lot of other racing games. It's better than Diddy Kong Racing. It's better than Mario Kart 64. It's better than a lot of other racing games. Probably is the best kart racing game on the original PlayStation. I'm trying to be as objective and unbiased as possible. Because some people think, oh, of course Crash is going to win. Everyone knows Crash Bandicoot. Everyone loves that great Bandicoot marsupial. Everyone loves Crash Bandicoot. And some people think that, oh, maybe the little guy might actually be the better one, but that's not really the case. Not that Speed Punks is better and that. No, Speed Punks is still a great game, but Crash Team Racing was just the better game. And it has an identity too. This is why you pick an identity and you stick with it. An identity crisis is something this game was clearly having. This game didn't really seem to know what it wanted to be. I mean, sure, it knew it was a party game, but it just threw so much random crap into the game. It's like, didn't even know what it was supposed to be. And the challenge is very inconsistent too. Some of these levels are like easy to win. Like this balloon challenge, for example. This balloon challenge is pathetically easy. I always play this, and almost every time I play this challenge, I pretty much always win by a very large margin. I never come anywhere close to losing. And I play some of the other challenges, like that toxic waste ring challenge, or the hell you call it. I don't even care what it's really called. So call it what you want. It's still crap. Crap is still crap, regardless of what you call it. I don't even know what happens half the time, and it's like, I already lost. There's like 5 seconds, and I already lost. And some of them are pretty much impossible to win. You get stuck in things sometimes too, or the boss, like that first challenge I did where you drive the tanks against the Komodo brothers. That was a pretty big challenge, and play through the whole thing. At the end, you get killed. You have to do the whole thing over again, and it's very challenging. But yeah, some of these ones are pathetically easy. I mean, it's still fun to play every now and then to try some of the good mini-games or the better mini-games here. But you don't really need to own the full game then of this if you want to do. Just get Spyro free. You have Spyro free, which is a way better game than Crash Bash. And then you can play all these games whenever you want. Sounds like a perfect bargain to me, 2 games for 1. Yeah, I like to think of the alternate timeline, or what if people found out about this in the year 2000, and then no one wanted to buy Crash Bash, and then it got what it deserved. Yeah, Crash Bash should have got what it deserved. I think people at Sony even know this game isn't that great either, which may explain why this game never came out on PlayStation Network, or never even came out for the PS3 where you could buy games on your PS3. Supposedly the first 4 Crash Bandicoot games or PS1 got released on that. But this one never did. I wonder why. Just just buy Spyro 3 and you have the whole thing. And oddly enough, it still baffles me that they included this game in the Crash Bandicoot Collector's Edition or Collector's Series in 2002. In 2002, the Sony re-released the original Spyro trilogy for PS1, as well as a Crash Bandicoot Collection 2 for the PS1 with 3 discs, each disc having its own different game. They came with Crash 3, Warped, Crash Team Racing, and this game. Of all the games they could have possibly picked, why would they pick this one for that collection? They should have picked Crash 2, 3, and then Crash Team Racing. I bet more than 99% of the people watching this right now are probably going to agree with me that Crash 2 is a far better game than this. It's a far better game than Crash Bash. Oh yeah, that's for sure. That's stating the obvious. All the great heroes state the obvious, right? And Crash 2 is definitely way better. Heck, even the original Crash Bandicoot's even better than this. I never liked the original Crash Bandicoot that much as a kid because I thought it was way too challenging. You can only save when you get to certain parts of the game, and it doesn't remember your lives when you restart the game or you turn off the game and load your game. It doesn't remember how many lives you have. I didn't really like it that much for that, but it later grew on me later. I later learned to respect it as a decent game. I later learned to overlook its flaws and find that, yeah, it's a pretty decent game overall. I actually like the Japanese version more, and this game did come out in Japan too, the Crash Bash. Spyro 3 didn't come out in Japan, but this game did, Crash Bash did, where it's called Crash Bandicoot Carnival. And it supposedly has exclusive Japanese stuff in the game. Yeah, I wonder how exclusive the Japanese stuff was in this game. And we're playing combat now. Remember that game on the Atari 2600? That combat game? Well, we're playing it right now, but it's with Crash Bandicoot characters in a 3D venue. Yeah, so this is more like Action 52. This is the kind of stuff I'd expect from an Atari 2600 game, not a PlayStation game, let alone a later PlayStation game. This game came out in late 2000 or so, somewhat late in the PlayStation's timeline, back when the PlayStation was nearing the end of its prime, and it's already well established itself as a successful system that can play so many different games, and yet they give us this. Sometimes I think I would have rather just seen, I know they really could have just invested in something else at this point, and not give just some lame attempt at trying to profit off Crash Bandicoot. And we're going around and this all looks like Vietnam as well too. I remember Crash 3 was all about traveling through time and going through different periods of history. And I don't think there was any part where Crash Bandicoot went to the Vietnam or had a fight in Vietnam. Seems like a lost opportunity on the part of the people who made Crash 3. Seems like a lost opportunity. Possibly something they could have put in a future game, maybe if they were to continue to make Crash Bandicoot games. Games like this is probably the reason why Crash faded into obscurity afterwards, and a lot of people didn't really know much about him afterwards. There were some other Crash Bandicoot games that kind of did stuff like this that came out later. Like there was Crash Tag Team Racing, and don't let that name fool you. Crash Tag Team Racing's a much better game than this. It's not even really a racing game, it's more just like a variety game where like there's mini games in it. And the mini games in Crash Tag Team Racing are actually good. They're actually fun mini games, and the racing is pretty fun too. There's even platforming in it too. It's all a bunch of great stuff, and it's actually really fun, which is something this game can't really say for itself. And Crash Tag Team Racing, Crash Bandicoot Carnival would have been a better title for Crash Tag Team Racing, but I think that title was already stolen by the Japanese version of this stupid game, this stupid Crash Bash. I remember I first heard of this game a very long time ago when I went through my cousin's memory card for the PlayStation, and then I saw what our games were, and I saw Crash Bash as one. I'm thinking, Crash Bash? What is that? I didn't know there was another Crash. I was quick to guess it was a Crash Bandicoot game. I didn't know, there was another Crash Bandicoot game on PlayStation. I didn't even know this game existed. I knew there was the original trilogy and there was the Crash Team Racing, but I had no idea this specific game was real, and it wasn't until years later when I actually got to play it, and then I realized, yeah, I could see why no one ever talks about this game. It's a game that is maybe just better left forgotten for a lot of people. It's not necessarily a bad game, but there's tons of way better games out there. I tried playing this game last week, and I realized, good God, why do I even tolerate this stuff at all? This game's worse than I remembered it. It's not bad, but it's still pretty, compared to because considering the fact this is Crash Bandicoot, it's a series of very high expectations and high standards. people expect a lot for Crash Bandicoot, so if Crash Bandicoot makes a subpar game, yeah, it is gonna stick out like a sore thumb. You're gonna notice a bad Crash Bandicoot game as often as, like, you know, it's like when your daughter comes home with another girl and then she goes into her bedroom with the other girl. They start making weird sounds. You're probably gonna want to know what's going on in there. You're probably want to hide a camera and watch because you know this is something that doesn't seem like something that would be happening. That's what it's like when Crash Bandicoot makes a bad game. You're gonna want to stare at it, or even a subpar game for that matter. You're gonna want to stare at it. You're gonna want to know how this became subpar. It's like a science. It's like an art essentially, or some sort of weird mathematical formula. How do you make Crash Bandicoot bad? How do you make a subpar Crash Bandicoot game? Well, the folks at Eurocom somehow found a way to do that. They somehow found a way to make a subpar Crash Bandicoot game. I was like, really, like, I thought there's no way kids would have liked this back in the day. I didn't even think this was truly made for kids. And after I played this game for like 40 minutes, I thought, I'm gonna do some soul cleansing. So I just went and put on Crash Team Racing, and I played that instead. Crash Team Racing is an awesome game, a way better game. It's a trillion times better than this game's ever gonna be. Crash Team Racing is what this game wanted to be. It wanted to be something like Crash Team Racing, but they didn't want to just simply make another racing game again, so they gave us a party game instead. I mean, I'm sure Crash Bandicoot could have worked better as several other different genres, maybe. Possibly a fighting game. There was Sonic the Fighters, and there was Super Smash Brothers. They could have made like a Crash Bandicoot fighting game. That would have been pretty funny, I think, to have Crash Bandicoot do his spinning attacks, and he spins Dr. Neo Cortex right round, baby, right round like a record. That would have made it an awesome premise for a game. Or they even could have made a Crash Bandicoot car combat game. We kind of saw that tank battle. Car combat, it was vaguely like car combat. We will later see car combat in Crash Tag Team Racing. So car combat games are still pretty popular at this point in time too. They could have done something like that. I would have paid money for that, a Crash Bandicoot car combat game. Come on, what Crash Bandicoot and Twisted Metal fan back in the day wouldn't have wanted to see that? I definitely would have loved to have seen something like that. Whatever kinds of games. They could have made a Crash Bandicoot Tetris game. That seems kind of lame, but it's still a lot better. But a Tetris game based around Crash Bandicoot is still a lot better than what we got here, or what we got in this game. Another thing, if there were two Crash Bandicoot games I could omit from the original PlayStation, it would be this one and the original. The original's not bad, but it's my least favorite of the ones made by Naughty Dog, at least. I used to think it may have been better than, or it may have been worse than this, but no, this game's way worse than the original Crash Bandicoot. Then again, that's not really comparable because they're very different games. They're completely different games. They're even more different than a Monty Python skit. And this is one of the few minigames I actually kind of like, this Pogo Challenge. And yet, even when the good minigames get boring after you play them for more than 5 minutes, these minigames don't really sustain themselves. This whole game didn't really sustain itself very well. I guess you could say it is a poorly aged game because of how it doesn't really stand the test of time. The game is only fun for like maybe 5 minutes every now and then that's it. Something you're going to want to shelve afterwards and forget it exists. I often forget that I had a copy of this game that I got for my birthday back in 2018. I also bought this game along with a copy of Star Wars Racer Revenge for the N64, as well as an atomic purple N64 controller, my favorite color for an N64 controller. And honestly, Crash Bash was the weakest of those 3 things I got for that birthday, and years later, I would get more Crash Bandicoot games for my birthday years later on the PS2, and those ones were actually better than this. People wouldn't really suspect that, but they were better. Even Crash Nitro Kart Racing is better than this. It knew what to do, and it stood with it. There's some more challenging levels in here. Pretty much all the levels in this game are challenging. This game is hard as hell. There isn't even like a difficulty selection or stuff. Snow Bash, I wonder what this is going to be. It's probably going to involve knocking the penguin off the ice glacier. Or some kind of challenge on that level, or some kind of challenge like that. Loading? These loading times are kind of obnoxious too. Go crack open a beer while you wait for this. Oh, it's a crate kicking game. Avoid the penguin and kick the crates. I remember this. And the game froze. Yeah, that's how broken this is. It just froze just like that. It's like it didn't even want me to play. It's like the game knows it sucks, or it knows it's not that good, and it doesn't want me to keep seeing this stuff. This is the first time it's happened to. I played this version other times too, and it does this a lot. It just freezes and crashes like, oh, sorry, I don't want to be here anymore. Goodbye. It's like it doesn't even want. It's embarrassed about what it became. It's embarrassed of how it turned out. Yeah, I guess that perfectly sums up what I think of this demo. It's actually the full game. Ray Phoenix signing out.